What's up, guys and girls? But it's mostly guys, and we need to get more women in 3D. I'm Derek Elliott from Dirk.com, and this is the live stream. I've only done this a few times, so bear with me. I'm not an expert yet, but I have a pretty good time. So let me first of all close that window. So yeah, we're gonna be making the O today, because that's what day we're on. So Mike, who has been a longtime fan of the live stream, was asking if he could see the other letters, because let me minimize myself there, because he's not on Instagram a lot. So for those of you who don't know, 36 Days of Type is a challenge. Well, you can go to the site and read all about it here, but basically over the course of 36 days you create the numbers and letters of the alphabet. I don't know if the numbers are part of the alphabet, and you know, you can kind of creatively interpret however you want to do it. So you know, like if you click on the hashtag, you can see kind of what everybody else is doing. So here's actually the account where they'll post, you know, other people's submissions. So people are doing all sorts of cool things, and so yeah, every day there's a new letter, and you're just kind of slowly moving through the alphabet. What's up, Jay Padar? Nice to have you again. So yeah, you just go through every day the alphabet, and so yeah, I just posted my N like seconds ago. That's why I was a couple minutes late. It's because I was rendering it over on Render Street, and yeah, it was taking a second to render, so I wanted to get that out before 3 p.m. Eastern time, or sorry, 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is what time the challenge rolls over in Spain, where I believe the 36 Days of Type people are based. So yeah, this is where they'll post my N any day now. So there was a kind of a submission rule that was to have it be a square, and I have not been. What's up, I has awesome toast? Good to see you again too. I have not been posting in a square format, which, you know, I messaged them to see if that was a big deal. We'll see whether it is or not. But these are my posts so far. So Mike was specifically asking to see the L, M, and N. So this was the L post, which, you know, honestly, I should have at least recorded. So this is the L. It's kind of got, actually, you know what? Forget that. Let me show you guys the, we might as well go to the high quality stuff here. Let's, so yeah, the K was a pain in the butt. Let's do, so he was asking about the L. So let's first see the L, full size. So here's the L. I'm gonna go and turn the sound off, actually. There's the L. Used some chairs given to me by a friend of mine who has a studio, and she designed them. Alyssa Coletti is her name. So this was the L. Kind of using a little bit of negative space to try to, you know, make the L shape there. Since L is kind of a pretty plain shape, there's some things we could have done that would be pretty obvious, but I didn't want to do that. So that's the L. I guess we might as well just watch these on Instagram. So here's the M, and this one I just posted yesterday. If I can turn off the volume there. So that's the M. I really like the way that one turned out, and honestly, I threw it together pretty quickly. So it would have been nice if I live streamed it, but sorry, I didn't. I think I was kind of getting behind, so I needed to kind of catch up and bust them out. And the live stream, though very exciting, does unfortunately slow me down a little bit. So this was the M. I really like the way that one turned out. And then literally seconds ago, posted the N, which is this one right here. Kind of cool. So again, using a little bit of negative space to kind of create this patio thing. And fun fact, those Adirondack chairs were ones that I made in 2011. I was looking back. I knew I had those chairs because I remember making them a long time ago, and I went back through my files to see if I could find them, and I did find them. So those Adirondack chair models are They're vintage. So yeah, if for those of you who don't know, I've been using Blender for a very long time, a little over 10 years. And yeah, so I could throw in some vintage Adirondack models. But that's where we're at so far. Today we obviously are going to create the O. And you know about the O, I haven't really planned it out as much as I would have liked to, considering I actually took the time to plan this live stream ahead of time and everything. But we're gonna see what we can do. Let me show you guys some sketches here. Very loose idea of what I want to do, but here's the O. It's really just those sketches kind of in the top corner. So there's one that I thought about doing it like a big orb building with like a telescope sticking out of it. But now I'm thinking it's going to be, I want to have some animation with it. I want to have it be like something that kind of like pops out of the ground maybe. So, maybe it's like an underground thing and the O sort of pops out of that. What's up, Alto, Hammy, and Techno? Good to see you guys again. So Alto is asking, are you selling templates? Are you selling as templates these products? No, I'm not selling anything today. But I do have a quick, easy way for you guys to make money. All you need to do is, I'm just kidding. This is not it, yeah. This is not one of those marketing live streams. I could use some money right now, though, so I wish I did have something to sell you, but I don't. So yeah, we're going to make the O today, and as Mike is correctly guessing, yes, this is a little bit of improvisation. Let me minimize myself here. You guys don't want to see that much of me, do you? I wonder how small I should make myself. We'll see once we get into Blender, kind of what we're blocking there. Maybe a little bit smaller, even though I got my hair all together today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I think what we're gonna do is probably want to use, what software should I create this in? Probably Blender. Yeah, so let's go ahead and open Blender. Which, by the way, if you aren't, I know Mike, you said you're not on Instagram, but I just posted this one, and I don't know how the algorithm works, but show me some love, because I just posted it. So go follow me on Instagram and leave like comments about that and tell people to join the live stream or something like that. So here we are in Blender. I'm using a somewhat recent version, but not the latest and greatest. So if you've been watching these streams before, which I see many of you in the chat, I recognize your names from previous streams, but I now have a kind of basic setup file that I use to start from, just to save myself some time. And anytime you're doing like a daily project, such as this 36 Days of Type 1, it's a good idea to start to kind of have some ground rules, because if you try to just start from scratch every day, it becomes really difficult to keep up with. You spend too much time doing like the creative part, which I know sounds silly because that is what you should spend time on, I guess. But like for example, I have a pretty strict color palette, and I know I'm doing architecture every day, and then obviously there's the letter is kind of guiding the shape. So having those ground rules really helps to kind of allow you to jump in a little faster. So having those ground rules also allowed me to set up this base file here, which I actually just recently saved over, updated the color and stuff like that. So it's got the N in there. Let's go ahead and tab into edit mode and change this N to an O, because it's the O day. O day, okay. Also, I assume everything sounded fine because I don't see any comments about it not, but let me know in the comments if I'm looking all right and sounding all right. Looking all right and sounding all right. Because, yeah, what's the point if you guys can't see me and hear me? At least, hopefully, you can see my screen. I don't care if you see my face that much. But let me get a sip of water here. I've been talking too much. We haven't really been blending much, have we? Tasty. Okay, so for the O, like I said, I think we're gonna have I think we're going to have the O kind of come out of the ground. But what I'll do is I'll model it above ground first, and then I'll just do like a big Boolean operation to cut a hole in the ground, because we can do that kind of afterwards. So Mike is saying he likes the way the letters reveal through the perspective change. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I have been trying to, in some cases it's a little more obvious like what the letter is. In this O, honestly, is probably going to be sort of like that. But it's good to, or it's fun to have it be like where you can't really tell what the letter is at first. But then, yeah, as the camera kind of moves around, you start to see a little bit better. You know, like, oh, okay, like I get it, it's an N. I think the N was a really good one for that. So let's go ahead and get started with this O. You know, honestly, in the base file, I have this circle here. I think we can probably hold on to that. So we're going to leave that there for now. And now, I think what I'll do is let's go ahead and also do a roof. So let's use this object that's already got a solidify modifier in it. I'm going to tab into edit mode. Delete that, and then I'm gonna Shift C to snap my cursor to the center, and I'm gonna add a circle, and let's make that circle pretty HD. We'll do 128 vertices around there, and I'm just gonna eyeball the scale here. I'm gonna press 1 to go into edit mode. Oh shoot! You know what? I forgot. I think Jay actually sent me on Instagram a screen recorder. Thanks, Jay, for sending me that. Let me see if that's something that would be easy to install here. Oh, OBS input overlay. I wonder. I might be a little. I'm gonna hold off on that for now. It might take a second to get set up, so sorry about that. But if you guys have any questions about some of the keys I'm pressing and stuff, just let me know. And I'll be happy to tell you. But I do need to make a point of getting a keystroke tracker thing so that you guys can see what I'm pressing, especially those who are listening back. You know, if they're watching this at a later date, if they're lame and they didn't come to the live stream, is what I mean. Just kidding. Thanks everyone who's watching later. So yeah, let's have this be my little roof here. Now I think, how tall do we want the thing to be? Probably something like that, honestly. Maybe even a little lower. Have it. All my posts kind of so far have been kind of these almost mid-century kind of modern style architecture. Obviously very simple. You know, we're not designing full-on houses here, but we want them to be sort of realistic. And I'm working in kind of a realistic scale, not quite. So the idea I have, and it probably wasn't super clear from that sketch, but let me see if I can kind of show it here, which I know it's going to be real small, but that's kind of the sketch I'm going with, where there's maybe going to be this deck around the outside, and it kind of like sinks into the ground or something like that, if that makes sense. So I think I want to try to create that deck. Now this could be a huge problem, but I was thinking about how to do it, and I think I have a decent idea. So what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to duplicate this object. Yeah, let's duplicate it. Tab into edit mode. Well, let's first set the origin to the geometry so it's nice and centered. Ooh, that did something weird. Okay, let's basically, I want to create these like kind of deck planks around the outside. So let's do, let's press X, delete vertices, Shift A, circle, and oh shoot, of course that created down there. I don't want 128. This is going to be like how many slats are around the deck. So let's bring this up. And then I think this will work. So AltoHemi, Dirk does it best. Some different. Yeah, I would love to do these as like a little introduction for an architecture company or something. Like maybe like take their logo or their letters or something. So these are going to be the slats of my deck. something like that, I think should be good. Now to create the space between them, this is what I don't know if it's going to work, but here's my idea. Let's try it. Also, Techno is asking EV or cycles for motion. Let me know if I didn't get this right, understand your question right, but you can use either one. It's really just EV is a, faster, I guess, that could be a reason. If you're really making a long animation, it doesn't have to be tremendous quality or accuracy, then using EV is probably going to be a little bit faster. But, it's a trade-off. Okay, so I'm pressing Control B here to bevel. And that is creating these small little holes, basically. Let me zoom in so you can see that better. So Control B is beveling these edges, and that's going to create little tiny gaps here. And then so this is working well. Let's delete those small little faces I just created. Okay, so now we have a little deck that actually worked out quite well. Probably don't want it to be so fat, so let's do 0.25, a little thinner. And now some of these I'm going to turn into steps. Mike was asking if there's a stream requirement for 36 days of time. Oh no, there's not. You don't have to stream at all, and obviously I haven't been streaming all of them, but I'd never done live stream before. I thought this would be a kind of a fun way to try it because I'm trying to do them fast anyway, so I'm not spending a whole lot of time. So we'll see. The streams so far have been like 3 hours apiece, and right now this one's sitting at 16 minutes. So we'll see how long it actually takes, but we're gonna try not to go too long. And then Jbadar, oh yeah, game jams. I actually did a global game jam one time. I don't remember the streaming aspect, but yeah. And then Jay was asking about color management. Yeah, I use I think Filmic is default nowadays in the color management, wherever they put that thing. Somewhere, yeah, Filmic is default now, so I use that. I think that's what Andrew Price said you're supposed to use, so that's what we're using. So let's see. So I've got my little bit of a deck here. Now I think I want to turn some of those into steps. Now, how many it's going to take is hard to say. Let's take, I'm going to have to step these down. I have an idea for how to do this. I always got ideas. We'll see if they actually work out. I think I want to take these steps and then separate them. Make sure I got them all selected properly. Yep. All right, separate by selection. Okay, so these are separate now. So when the thing's down on the ground, it should look like this. But when it is up like this, these should kind of turn into steps. So let's so I just chopped off a quarter of this circle here. Hopefully that's a good amount. They'll probably be pretty small steps, but I'm gonna try, I think the easiest, since this is gonna be animated, I think the way I'm gonna want to do this is by I think I want to take this. Let's see. Let's try, I wanted to face select. Let's get rid of all of these and then see if we can kind of recreate them with an array. So let's add an empty. Let's make it I feel like there should be more empties. I want to put it right there at the center. Cursor to selected, empty, cube. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, let's see. Oh god, I need to save my file. Here I go again. Let's make the, oh, I already got the O folder. O. Save. So we are gonna try doing an array here. So add modifier, array, and we're gonna do the object offset. See if we can pick this empty here. Okay. Turn off the relative offset. I think I will use the Z offset though. Or maybe I animate that. Let's see. Let's see what we do. So I've got object offset. So let's go ahead and just add a few so we can see what we're doing. And then I think this works like RZ. Okay, of course that's not working. Object offset. Oh, I gotta click the button here. Okay, so now RZ. Okay, that's looking good. So how many should this be? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I should have known that because it was 64. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total. Does that include the 1? Yeah, it does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total. Okay, so we need 15, 16. Which there's probably some more math I could do to find out what angle this should be, but we're gonna eyeball it. So yeah, looking good there. Okay, so now what I've done is basically filled that piece back in, but what I can do now is cha-ching. Now it's like steps. That actually looks pretty good. So that's gonna go down. So for now, what's this at? 5.63. There's probably some math that tells me why that's right, but I'm not gonna worry about that because I don't like math. I actually never really did like math that much in school. I got my calculator, you know, that's all I need. In today's Blender stream, they said they'll make colored icons. Monochrome is hard. Interesting, because a lot of people hated the colored icons. A lot of people didn't like them. But yeah, I didn't watch the Blender today, but thanks for the little update there. Okay, so now I got my little staircase thingamajigger. So I think, yeah, the whole thing is going to start in the ground, and then this part will kind of stay planted in the ground, which we'll have to animate to make it look like that. And then it'll end up looking like that. So we're going to do our model kind of like that. We're gonna do the modeling while it's down like that. So here's my mirrored glass with a mirror modifier, that is. Let's God, why are my origins all crazy in my base file? Let's I don't think there's gonna be much mirroring going on here, so we'll get rid of that. And I'll set the origin to geometry, even though I'm about to change that geometry. Let's go into edit mode. Let's delete that. Shift C, Shift A, circle. We can do 64, should be fine here. And then let's make this, I can't see. Let's make this the glass that kind of goes around the outside here. So something like that, I guess. And then let's go E, Z. And then I'll just kind of poke the top there. Scale that in a little more. And then when I'm scaling, I'm pressing S and then Shift Z to hold the Z axis. Otherwise, it would get smaller in the Z axis too, and I don't want that. Thank you, Techno. I'm glad you think it's looking good already. Yeah, this will inevitably be like way more complex than it needs to be, but we're gonna try to keep that to a relative minimum. Okay, so we've got that there. So the whole thing rises up out of like some hole, which maybe we should go ahead and put that hole just so we don't screw ourselves up later. So yeah, okay, so this is, let's go ahead and let's kind of make the hole that this whole thing nests in. So let's add a Shift C, Shift A, mesh, another circle. Let's make this one 128. And then let's scale it out till we can see it. something like that, so that it needs to just barely cover that edge there. And then let's Control A, scale, to apply the scale. Techno, I'm glad you're learning a lot from me. That really does. That's what I want to do. Like I said, guys, I've been using Blender for like over 10 years, and you know how I learned? YouTube tutorials. I don't even there definitely wasn't live streaming back then. I don't think I wanted to do that. Let's see. Let's I think there's going to end up being a hole here. What I'm trying to do now is just make this big cutter object that's going to cut a hole in my mesh. EZ and then F, and let's actually name this object. Let's name it cutter. And what that's going to do, let's switch it to bounding box. So right now it's displayed as texture. So now we can't, the geometry is still there, but now it doesn't show it all. And that's just so that when I do this Boolean, I should be able to see better what it's actually doing to the mesh. So this already has a Boolean on it. Interesting. Okay. So then select object should be the cutter. James is here from the Minor Details Podcast. What's up, James? I don't if you guys were paying attention in the live streams past. We looked at the helicopter animation I did with James Connors. He does a podcast with a guy named Nick Baker called the Minor Details Podcast. Yeah, it's James Franco. But I alluded that James and I were actually working on our next post, which we are slowly but surely. Okay, so what I was trying to do is I'm trying to cut a hole in the mesh here, but I think, let's see, difference, intersect. No. Difference, I think. Yeah, I think it's difference. But I need to, I think this might need more geometry for the cut to work. So let's try adding a solidify to this, which is going to make things a little bit messy. But let's make this like 5 feet, something pretty fat. Offset it the other way. You know what? Maybe I need to mess with my Boolean object here. So this should be solid. Oh, you know, I think the problem is because there's like 0 geometry. So let's try, let's actually get rid of this solidify for a second. And then if we bring this just down a tad, up. Okay, for some reason this worked last time and I didn't think it was going to work. And now this time, I thought it was going to work because it worked last time, and of course it's not. So we're trying to use that Boolean object here to cut a hole in the mesh. Let's scale this whole thing up a little bit. Well, we probably don't want to go that much. Let's sometimes also, so the Boolean you can see is working. I think it is because this doesn't have any geometry to it. So let's add that solidify modifier back. Solidify, let's put it before the Boolean. Make it something big. Go the other way. And then there, now it's working. But I think I need to make this even thicker. And so that we don't get that bad shading, let's turn on auto smooth here. Guys, check out the Minor Details Podcast if you're interested at all in design and you don't want to get sucked into just the 3D world of things. The Minor Details Podcast is an industrial design podcast. Does a real good job of kind of showing you what they talk about industrial design, which is kind of an interesting field. It's what I studied in school, and yeah, it's a good way to learn about fields that are not 3D. So Mike is saying, Techno, you started using Blender with 2.8. Good time to start, but honestly, Blender is a pretty complex software, so it's not that much easier if you're starting with 2.8. It's still pretty difficult software to learn, but I would say 2.8 is the most user-friendly of all the blenders. Okay, so I'm glad that we went ahead and did that Boolean, because now I'm seeing that this floor is, for one, going to have to be a little bit thicker. And maybe we actually just make this solid geometry. So let's apply the solidify, which for some reason you can't do in edit mode. Yeah. Guys, check it out. Watch this. Watch this. So James Connors, aka I Draw in Receipts. He's giving me praise. This is the man. And this is them doing a Meyer Details podcast live. But Meyer Details podcast, they living in the big city, sweating the small stuff. That's pretty good. So that they post these kind of like 9-panel things of kind of what they talked about. And in one of their early podcasts, they talked about this animation that I did with Mr. Connors himself. So James did all these these cool helicopter things, and we animated. This is actually the second animation we did. They turned out really cool, really cute little designs James made, and this is all done in Blender. So people are always like, "Oh, Blender can't do cool stuff," but I'd say that's pretty cool. Matisse is in the house. So sorry. Let's go back to the Blender here. Just giving James a little shout out because he's an awesome dude, and you guys should check out industrial design stuff. Like I said, I studied that in school and was kind of starting to get out of it, honestly. And then kind of through Instagram, I reconnected with some industrial design folk. Okay, so let's see here. Now I'm thinking, now that I'm seeing this, it kind of looks like almost looks like a moat, which we don't want to get too far out of our way with intense stuff like moats with crocodiles in them. Actually, that sounds like a really fun idea. We don't want to get too far out of our way, but I'm wondering if maybe we sink this thing down even further. Yes, James is giving me shout outs. It's a very collaborative process putting those animations together, I must say. But of course, I'm the Blender guy, so I did the 3D stuff. But he did give me the models, so gotta give him some credit. So let's see here. We've got the moat. Do we want to call it a moat? Because what I'm thinking, the reason I think that's cool is because maybe we could put like a little bridge across. That would be a really nifty way to add some interest to this. But then the bridge would have to go somewhere. So the bridge would have to go somewhere while this whole thing was sunken down. Maybe we should go ahead and, you know what I could do, which would probably be a horrible idea because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I could set up a driver. Like, so maybe the roof is the main control here. Everything's parented to the roof. Let's go ahead and start doing that. So this Control P to the roof, parent to object, and let's start naming these. Oh, that one's already named roof. My base file has done me well. Let's Control P this to the roof. Glass, I think I parented to the roof already. Nope. So we're gonna be editing the glass, so we'll probably have to change this. Parent to object, and then let's parent. I don't know if I can do. I think I need to. Let's see. I think I need to parent this object to the roof. Control P to object. So now when I move this, it should break my array. Oh shoot! You know what I didn't do? Origin to geometry. Crap. I hope that doesn't mess us up later. So that is breaking the array. But now if we parent this to this, Control B object. Okay, now it all stays. But what I think we can do, we could add a driver. So what I'm wondering with the driver is, you know, when I move this object would automatically move with it, so that it keeps it nice and even. Do we try to do that? I'm gonna try to do it. Why not? We're live streaming. It's only 3 o'clock. We've only been going for 34 minutes. We got all the time in the world. All right. So insert driver on the Z location. So insert add driver. Okay, so the object to look for information is called roof. Oh God. We're already in real bad shape. Edit driver. Okay, so we are going to be looking for the Z location. Okay, so there's my now massive spiral staircase. And we want to... So if you guys have never used drivers before, they're really freaking complicated. Don't use them. Just kidding. So this is looking for information on this object, the Z location. Yeah, see, it's kind of working. I just now have to do some freaking math. Okay. So let's open. There's another way to go to the drivers editor. It's like drivers. Look at that. But then it like doesn't show it over here. You have to select that and then do edit driver, show in drivers editor. Then the drivers editor pops up over here for some reason. Let's just try to do it in this little window that pops up. If anyone can tell me why it pops up in a weird place, I'm all ears. Okay, so this takes the Z and adds something to it. So I want to use the Z. Let's just try plus 0.1. Okay, so that, at least now we're looking in view. So now when I move this down, so does it go in the right direction? When it goes up, no, I think we want it to kind of go the other way. So while this is up, I want it to look like the stairs are all the way down. So let's try, James is ready for some mathing time. Yeah, if you really were paying attention to what you were doing here, you could just come in here and be like, oh, well, the Z location is blah, blah, blah. Actually, you know, maybe we should actually try to do that. Okay, so there is a way on this drivers. So the value that it's getting right now from this object is 1.829 Z location in the world space. So this is the Z location. See, the Z location is 6 feet though on my thing. Maybe if we change this to edit driver. Maybe if we change this to transform space, local space. No, it's still got the same thing. All right, so let's do minus. Okay, that's working all right. So now when we move this down, okay, it's doing the wrong thing. I know I'm in too deep here. Remington Graphics in the house. Welcome back. Grant, Remington Graphics, is another YouTuber who I think most of you in the chat have probably seen before. He's got a pretty sweet Blender channel. But now I'm a little embarrassed because Grant, who I believe is a college student and studying like engineering, computer engineering, probably is really good at math, and I'm embarrassed to welcome Grant to the stream scene, while we are trying to create drivers. Really bad idea. So I'm trying to make a driver that when I lower the roof here, the thing goes with it. So I think I just want it to go the other direction. And I think we need to do maybe a multiply. So let's edit the driver again. Let's do variable minus 0.1. Maybe we need to do times. Let's see what times 0.1 does. Okay, that's not the right thing. So it's doing something small. Guys, if this doesn't work, it'd be really easy for me to be really easy for me to manually keyframe this. The only reason I wanted to do a driver is just so that it would automatically happen when I was kind of playing with my design here. Let's see if this goes the right direction now. I don't even know where so there's the stairs. Oh, so look, it's the right thing now. So when I go down, I want it to end up flat like that. So it's right, the value is just too much. So if we stay zoomed out here, maybe we can kind of watch what's happening. All right, FabsNet is going to be our resident driver expert. He's giving us some advice here. So he says the minute should maybe be before the variable. Okay, I saw that a little late, and I think I'm going to roll here. So when you're saying minute, is that why these numbers are all weird? It's because they're minutes. Oh, the driver value is negative 0.183. Let's just try times 0.5. Okay, I think that stretched it out further. 1, stretched it out further. 4, stretched it out further. All right, so let's do 0.01. 0.001 times negative 0.001. Why is it only changing a little bit? Okay, so that's just doing nothing there. Negative 1. Variable times, maybe do variable divided by, guys, this is bad. Okay, let's see what that does. Not what I want. If you guys get tired of drivers, let me know. I actually only discovered drivers like not that long ago. I knew about them a long time ago, but I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm screwing with that. And now you can see why. So we did times and negative. So let's take negative variable times 2. So now when we move the roof, what happens? Okay, it's working. It's going the right direction. Let's edit driver times, let's just try times 5. Oh God, edit driver. Let me catch up on these comments here. Fellow chatters, can someone fill me in on what the 36 days of type is? Yeah, Jenkin, sorry you missed the beginning. We did look at that, but here's James Conner's page again. It's basically this challenge where you create these letters every day, and then numbers too. So if their links work here, so this is their Instagram page. So everybody's just creating every day. They do a letter, number, whatever. Shout out to somebody if any of these guys were you. Thank you. Oh, I draw on receipts. That's Mr. Minor Details podcast in the chat. So these are mine so far. I'm doing basically like architectural renderings. So I've got all these little houses and stuff. So that's what we're doing today. You don't have to do houses, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm really getting myself into trouble here. 0.001. All right, guys, we gotta bail on the driver. We're gonna delete single driver. I think me trying to talk about it while I'm doing it is probably a bad idea. Cause yeah, last time I did drivers, it took me a minute, but I thought with that new knowledge, I'd be able to do it this time without too much struggle. Okay. So what was the whole reason we were doing that driver thing? So I wanted to see what this looked like when it was down. Let's get this little O out of the way here. So yeah, we're talking moats. We're talking defense. We're talking about how to keep the lame people out of our cool little house here. So I think we could maybe have like a retractable bridge. We don't want to get into too much animation because that might take a long time. You know, honestly, this is probably enough. Mike's got tutorials about drivers. I saw one by, I forget what his name is. I should find his channel and let you know. But that's the one I followed. He does like he did like an engine thing. Well, he showed a lot of simple drivers, but really good tutorial. All right, let's just design kind of inside here a little bit first. So we've got this deck all set up here. Now there's going to be kind of similar to my eye post. I think I want to have like a little door that opens up. And where should we put that front door? Probably like right here, or maybe right here. Let's put it right here. Animation nodes could definitely do the trick, but that is even further beyond me. We are not going to do a animation nodes learning session. So let's figure this door slides back all the way. So I think there are 16 segments here. I think it'll actually tell me if I select them all. So somewhere, okay, yeah, down here in the bottom right, 16 faces selected. So if I select 8 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So that'll be our little door, little doorway. Smartroid, yo, what up? Welcome to the stream, bro. Or bro or not bro. Somebody tell your female friends to start using Blender. We gotta get more ladies in the house. There's enough males in the Blender world. Big fan of my work. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. And thanks for stopping by too. Feel free to ask me all your deepest, darkest Blender questions, anyone who's in the stream. Or questions not about Blender. I'm passionate about other things too, but mostly Blender. Let's be real here. Okay, so here's my door. That's gonna go, oops, let's snap our cursor in the middle there. It's gonna kind of come in a little bit. Can we do that now? Should we do that now? Yeah, let's do it now, because it'll kind of slide. So look, here's the door. It's gonna be like shink, 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 shink. We're gonna try to get some good animation in there. Ooh, you know what we should do? You know those like mid-century modern fireplaces? There's probably a specific designer that does it. The ones that hang from the ceiling. That would be so cool in there. I'm kind of like envisioning, which probably means we should probably start working on the middle. But like, oh, that one's cool. I like that style. This one seems to be popular. It's not the one I'm thinking of though. There's one I'm thinking of. That's the one I'm thinking of. I think. I don't know. That's pretty cool though. Which means we probably have to use some lame old Eames furniture. It's not lame. I love it. It's just like so cliche. It's hard to stay away from. I felt really bad when I posted my my post that had the Eames chair in it, the F. That's actually when I reached out to my old professor that gave me those other furniture models. I was like, this is embarrassing. I'm putting an Eames lounge chair in here and I could do something way more unique. All right, so maybe we should start working on the inside a little bit. Oh, 3:38 a.m. for Smartroid. Yeah, I am. Well, I can't say I'm planning to stream more often. I really would like to. It's been a lot of fun, the streams I have done. And so that's something that would be nice to keep up with. You know, maybe now it's time to go into render mode here, which I should have saved first. Oops, so there's my big cutter. That's cutting a hole in the thing. Where is it? Over here. So we want to hide, definitely don't want it rendered. Let's hide it in the viewport. Actually, we can leave it in the viewport. No, we can't, because then we'll be able to see it. Okay, so let's go and set up our materials. So if you haven't been watching any of the other live streams, shame on you. Just kidding. I have a very cool material set up here. So since this is a multi-day challenge, I thought it would be cool to slowly transition my colors from like a deep pink, which they weren't supposed to be pink, guys. It was supposed to be, these are the colors that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go from like a deep red into like a, okay, maybe that's pink, into like orange, into a yellow. But the way I had my lighting set up, it ended up looking like really pink. But anyway, so I have this color ramp here that's got my gradient. This has stayed the same in all the posts. What I did is I take 36 divided by 1 divided by 36. So this is a black value, 0. Added 1 divided by 36, which is 0.028. And then I multiply that by the day. And that's how I control my color every day. So A, B, C, D. Let me get so you guys can see me counting. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. So this will be 15, which means it should fill another row. Nice. Always good to see that. So that means we're going to change this to 15. And you can see the color shifts. So everybody's like, why are they all pink? And it's just like, hold your horses, folks. They're going to be not pink in just a matter of time. So I only have a few materials set up here. I have this colors adjustable scratchy. I have the glass, which I haven't really changed every time. I did change it a little bit in one post. So here's the colors adjustable 15. Oh wait, and then scratchy. I thought we just changed that one. That's 15. And then there's another one right here, lighter, which I keep meaning to change this in my base file. I need the subdivision surface to be after the skin so that it stays nice and smooth. Let's save. So this is the other color. Put that at 15. And let's take a sip of water. So Mike Myers is asking if Caitlin uses Blender. Those of you who were lucky enough to see the stream on whatever day I did the stream, my fiance Caitlin came home during that time and kind of popped her head in. So Mike was one of those fortunate people. And if you look back, there's one stream, I think the H stream that I started, I didn't really finish it, so I made it private just because it was embarrassing. But on one of the streams, I did let's shade these smooth. Caitlin was on there, and so Mike's asking if she uses Blender. No, she does not. And never really tried to get her to use Blender, but she's real good at what she does. I'll do what I do. We're happy. And then Techno, 12 a.m. in Egypt, not too bad. How to make this drop water in the bee video. You know, I can actually show you that really quick because it's so easy. So you add a circle. If you know what you're doing, it's easy. Scale it up, press F, and then inset that maybe just a little bit. I just need to add some geometry here, so I'm going to inset it just till it's tiny. I'm going to add some edge loops. This is probably going to crash my computer. And then you just add a wave modifier. That's it. You can change the speed, which I believe I had pretty slow. You can change the width of the waves so they're bigger. If you guys followed Andrew Price's donut series, I think in the first video he kind of shows this as a cool tip. You can do some really cool effects with the wave modifier that are not as obvious as this. But that's how you do it. That's how I did the water and the bee. And there's a small wave modifier cameo in the most recent post of the N as well. SmartRoid is asking, if you don't mind me asking, so the first one, I have no idea what's the difference between add shaders and mix shaders. I don't really know either, honestly. I think they do what they sound like. Like add shader makes it so you're getting the effect of both. Mix, like I think if you had a shader plus, never mind, I'm not going to try to explain it. I'm sorry, I really don't know. There is a difference, but probably has to do with math, so that's why we don't talk about it. The best way to see that would be to try some examples, or probably find somebody's YouTube tutorial that describes it. Maybe one day I'll do that if nobody else does. I'll have to figure out what the difference is first. because I don't know. But that's actually how a lot of my tutorials go. Some of the stuff you guys are asking me to do, I don't know how to do it either. But I do know how to use Google really good. So I'll usually be able to find out through kind of scanning some old forum posts and whatnot, how to do something. Okay, so it's really going to disturb me that we didn't get our origin centered here. I should be okay though. Started, go, take a picture of yourself and use materialize. Oh, Mike, message retracted. Techno. Yeah, there. Hopefully that made sense how to do the B. So we are progressing very slowly here. If you guys have ideas for the O, I'm open. O is for open. So we've got our sliding door here. I think most of the stuff is going to happen. Origin to 3D cursor, RZ. Okay, RZ. Let's set this origin to 3D cursor as well. Especially on something that's circular like this. I'd like to have the origins all kind of lined up nicely. We can move our cube here, which for some reason I have turned off selection for that. Color cube. Select. This is just a little cube that for some reason I've been having to make a little cameo. So the whole thing's going to start down, and then it's going to pop up, and it's going to reveal this cool interior. So let's go ahead and start working on the interior, I suppose. I'm going to make a little fireplace. We're going to do it my own. We'll do my own design, because I'm a designer. Gosh darn it. We're going to do it really low poly, because I think we're going to be doing some subdivision surface here. And you probably won't see this very well. So let's do, what's a fireplace look like? Probably something like that. Easy. Maybe bring that in. Easy. There's the chimney. We'll probably have it go and pop up a little like that. Easy. Ooh, you know what would be really good is if we could actually put some fire in there. But fire is really slow to render if you're using cycles. Could do it in Eevee, but I'm not really good at adding. I'm not really good at adding, like if I rendered something in Eevee and then comping it in to a cycles render. So we might not try that. Subdivision surface. You know what? I do not like that at all. Let's just model it. I like my boxy version, which I did only make it 16 vertices, but that's okay. It's pretty small. What's up, Weist Race? Tell me how to say your name, and I will say it that way until I don't remember anymore, which might not be that long. Sorry. So we're making a cool fireplace here. Let's see if we're missing anything. It's always a good idea to look at reference. That's what everyone says, at least. Does anybody do it? Are you guys looking at reference? Don't lie to me. So I wonder if it's called like a hanging fireplace. MCM is mid-century modern in this context, by the way. Well, I don't want it actually hanging. Not like that. This one's kind of cool. Do I want mine to have that swoop? We could have the swoop. I think I want the swoop. Materialize free texture generator. I'll have to check that out. I don't know about that. Maybe, I guess we could just model the swoop. I was gonna do a bevel. Like, let's just do this is Control B is bevel. Great tool. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so there's our bottom part, and then let's just like let's kind of copy this. Shift D R, grab it down. Oh, wait, we have to have it hanging though. Can't touch the floor. Maybe we need to move this whole thing up a little bit. And then we'll move this back down. Matisse has a question. Is there a way to fix the imported logo, the topology of an imported logo from Illustrator? Recreated one in an older tutorial. Yeah, so a lot of people like to cheat. A lot of people have a logo made in something like Illustrator, which is what you typically would use to create a logo. But they want to make it 3D, so they take the easy way out. They take the logo, they import it into Blender, and they're like, well, bam, it's 3D. But the problem is, since it's automatically retopoing it, if you will, it looks like really, really bad. It just does not, it doesn't look good. Yeah, remesh modifier is one way, but there's not a good way until the AI catches up to us. There's really not a surefire way to do that, to have it look good when you import the logo. So, you know, what I would say is just, even in the case of a pretty complex logo, I think it's a good idea to, just model it, like I did with the Nike logo. So if you've watched my tutorial, I've done 2 logo animation tutorials, and in both cases, what we did was model the, we modeled the logo. Welcome anyone that happens to join from Mr. Connor's page. So yeah, I think it's, you know, the logos I did were pretty simple, but I really think it's better to just go ahead and model it, because you get just crap geometry. And that's why I'm kind of joking about it, because in those tutorials, a bunch of people commented and were like, oh, well, you can just import the logo from Illustrator, save yourself 20 minutes. It's like, yeah, well, then when you try to do anything other than just make it a solidified logo, which you could do that in Photoshop, you run into like huge issues. If you try to use any modifiers or, you know, UV unwrap it, like, you're screwed. So that's why I think just modeling it is really the best case scenario. All right, we are going to add our lame Eames chair here. Let's do, where is it? I think I have, let's see, what was that, the F that used it? Let's do, let's bring in the Eames chair from the F. Now, was it a collection? No, should have been a collection. That would have been nice. Okay, I guess that it's this, and this. That's got to be it. Boom. Got our chair. Nice. Okay. Wait, is it? Did it come in with the empty? Or was that? No, the empty just happens to be right there. So now I'm going to move these to their own collection. Move new collection. We're going to name that chair. That sounds pretty good, right? It's a chair after all. Now, keeping with my silly color scheme here, I need to switch these over to the new colors. So adjustable lighter. I hope these all get correct. Adjustable lighter. This should be color adjustable. This should be shade smooth for 1. Or not. Color adjustable lighter. Oh wait, that was just colors adjustable. So let's make sure, oh, I think there's this piece too. Okay, that's all good. Since I imported those from the other file, the names all came in the same, so I want to make sure I switch it over. Which now when I save, this is always finicky how it works, but see I got these 001, that's like a duplicate. I think that when I save, close, open a new one, colors should be gone. Yeah, they are. So I don't really want to have all those duplicates there. So let's select these objects. Select objects. Snap my cursor. Oh, I don't want this selected. What the heck? Cursor to selected. Shift A. Empty. Cube. Huge freaking cube as always. Is my face too big down there? Can you guys see what I'm doing? You don't need to worry about whatever's up right there. But I want to make sure I'm not too big. Select objects, Control P with that empty. Now I don't have to grab all of them. Now I can just grab that. So let's put that down there. And then we're gonna have to parent all this stuff to the floor, because I'm gonna have this whole thing kind of rise up, as some of you who have been here for a minute may know. Now, how big do we want this space? We're gonna kind of let the chair determine that. I guess if those are steps, oh, chair's like 18 inches. I should probably be like a tad smaller. This is not, none of these animations, by the way, are like realistic by any means, but I'm trying to keep things sort of believable. Have you heard about the Notre Dame? I haven't heard about the Notre Dame. Let me know. Someone's asking in the chat. Okay. So we got the chair there. NVIDIA Creator Driver. I don't know what that is either. I need to put together, I need to get some list or something from you guys of what to be doing. Ooh, you know what would be really cool is like if there was a little window. Actually, yes, part of this shouldn't be all glass. I was thinking it would be. But okay, so there's a door. Door's gonna be right there, which means the chair should probably be like away from the door. Let's move the chair. All right, we've been streaming for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Not too bad. That is also what I said though with the last stream that went 3 hours. Oh gosh, yeah, the fire. Notre Dame. Oh, is that? I just heard it was a famous cathedral. I didn't know that it was. I didn't know it was called Notre Dame. That's sad. That's too bad. I need to check the news on that. I just saw a little bit about it, but I didn't know. I haven't really had a chance to find out more. So that is not good. One more question in SmartRoyd's mind. So 16, all day using Blender. Sometimes I think, is there any future in Blender? Can I get a job in Blender things? I started using Blender when I was, I think, 16. And I used it kind of on and off, not every day. So you're a step ahead of me if you are. And I didn't, I kind of started using it just as a hobby thing. But I need to, before I drive myself crazy here, I need to go and create. No, I shouldn't do that yet. I was gonna make the the little window panes I put around the outside. We're not gonna do that yet though, because I think I want to do that little bar thing I was talking about. So let's make that a third of the way up. So back to the question about, is there a future in Blender? Absolutely, yeah. I think that I am literally the most biased person you could ask about this, because this is like what I do for a living. But yeah, like there's more and more of our world. More and more of our world is becoming digital. More and more of our world is becoming digital, and I think I am particularly passionate about the place 3D has in it. VR and AR is one thing. Video games is what a lot of people get excited about. Me, not as much. But like, yeah, there's. Okay, I'm trying to do everything all even, like quarters and stuff. So let's make this like a little window. But yeah, VR, AR, video games, just general like scientific visualization. All sorts of stuff is going to make really good use of 3D. And if you are able to kind of master 3D and the things it can do, and you basically just have to be able to show someone what it does, and they'll pay you for it. Like so I'll tell you just a little bit about my background. Sorry, I'm getting lost in the comments. Let me tell you about my background very, very briefly. I did Blender for fun. I took some CAD classes in high school. That turned into me studying industrial design in college, and I was able to use able to use Blender a little bit in industrial design when it came to like prototyping and stuff. But that I didn't. What the hell did I just do here? Okay, so I was going to make this a wall. So I didn't use it that much, and then after college I got a job kind of doing furniture stuff where I was doing kind of more like CAD stuff, not so artistic, not so creative, which was fine. It was a good job at a company called Bernhardt Design. They do high-end office furniture, almost a competitor to Herman Miller here. If Bernhardt was better on their social media, maybe I'd use their furniture, which actually I have used some Bernhardt furniture in my posts. But so this was going to be a wall. Let's make this the I think 0.5 is like the thickness I've been using for walls. And let's make it offset here. So let me catch. Okay, so SmartRoid. Yeah. Long story short, you can definitely use Blender. I love to talk about that, so I won't talk too much about it. But yeah. Let me. I'm gonna get caught up on the comments here, so I'm gonna drag it over so you guys can see what I'm reading. So yeah, you can definitely use Blender to make money. The most important thing is, if you're passionate about it and if you think it's useful and you can show people how what you do is useful, and that applies for literally anything you could ever do, then yeah, you can make a living with Blender, or whatever else you do that you think is valuable and somebody may pay you for. So then Mike was telling me about some NVIDIA drivers. I need to check that out. DCJ Design, what's up? Saying hey to iDrawn Receipts, who right now is Minor Details Podcast. So this is James Connors. Check him out on Instagram. He does a podcast with Nick Baker called the Minor Details Podcast, where they talk about industrial design, which, referring back to SmartRoid's question, is what I studied in college. So James was asking, James being Minor Details Podcast, was asking about kind of the process to creating these. So in this case, this one, it was a really quick sketch. So we're kind of looking at the this one right here. The idea was going to be that this O shape kind of pops out of the ground and creates the thing. So that's the process. I do have like since the colors are set up and kind of the way I have this whole thing structured is consistent. I have like a base file that I kind of start by building with. But yeah, as for the other, you guys never saw these ones because I did them kind of in a hurry, but this is like some sketches for the M and the L. So this was like kind of an angled view, a side view, and a top view of the M. If you go back and look at the M post, that's what it looks like. I could pull it up. But and then some L, and then here's some of the J and the K. So kind of depending on how much time I have and how difficult it is to come to an idea that I feel good about, I've usually been sketching thumbnails on kind of like about half a page to try to come up with something. So Blender as a hobby, yeah, you can get a job. I wouldn't necessarily say in Blender. I mean, I do feel passionately that Blender is going to be bigger in the future, and a lot of people are going to use it professionally, and it won't hold you back. But I don't think it holds you back now. And the only reason I say there's no point in saying Blender specifically is because what you do, Blender is a tool. So what you do with Blender, the 3D stuff, is I always call it the 3D stuff. What's more important is being creative, being able to use the tool effectively, and stuff like that. So whether it's Blender or some other software or a completely different job altogether, like if you master Blender and able to do good stuff with it, those skills apply far beyond Blender. So don't worry about what software. Just Blender's a great tool, so use it. So good heads up. Oh, David Joseph ID, nice to see you here. So DCJ Design is on Instagram as Dave Joseph ID, and he follows my work. Thanks, Dave. So yep, he's here with minor details. Matisse saying, of course you can get a job. How can you even ask this? Well, Matisse, some people are a little weary because, it's always weird. It's like, how could you get a job doing something you love? But it happens. And sometimes people need a little bit of encouragement. So SmartRoid, yeah, if you're 16 and you're using Blender every day, keep at it. Probably still end up going to college, but most of what I do now to make money did not require technically my college education, but I do stand behind it because it was a good way to get into things. And yeah, DCJ is asking if I keep the theme based on architecture. The theme, yeah. So same. Okay, YouTube account's different. All right, we are going to pull back into the thing here. So I'm making a little bar. Let me make my face smaller. So I'm making a little bit of a bar. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be funny if when I made my face smaller, my voice got higher? I could probably, with some advanced OBS techniques, probably make that happen. But I don't think that's really necessary. Let me know if you guys think that would be a big deal. I know people are always listening to my voice though, because you guys are still waiting on that ASMR tutorial. So now I'm going to make, so the bar is on a little bit of wall, ESC, oh wait, period, 3D cursor, S, Shift Z, bump that bad boy out a little bit. Maybe bump this bad boy in a little bit. So we got our little bar. Let's make this 0.025, maybe even thinner. And then let's use the scratchy material for that. I've been kind of using that for like things that would be like concrete or something like that. Let's make this the regular color. Wondering if this should be maybe this should be out a little bit. RZ. Just kind of pierce that glass just a tad. Let's do the same thing over here. RZ. And I'm rotating from my cursor there in the center. There's something that I was going to say. Lost track of. Weiss is saying, I feel like Blender is catching up on other softwares like C4D, thanks to Eevee 2.8. We just need the same thing as Xparticles. Yeah, Particles is one thing that maybe Blender isn't the best at. And then there's certain things that a software called Houdini, which some of you may be familiar with, does really well. Like really, really procedural stuff. I don't think anything can really do that. Cinema 4D has a little bit more capability than Blender might in that regard. And animation nodes, I think, is going to fill a lot of those holes, especially with 2.8. But, okay, so if that's the bar, I don't think we want to put him over there. We keep moving the little Eames chair around. We just got to find a nice place for him. I would really love to put like a little sheepskin somewhere in there. I feel like that would go with this environment. So yeah, Blender's definitely catching up. But guys, I think what Blender is missing is just more people who are good at 3D using it. Like, I think if you took some of those, like, having followers isn't what makes you a pro, but if you took some of those like huge names like Andreas Wannerstadt or something on Instagram and just let them use Blender for a week, they would still produce like freaking awesome stuff. Like, it's just, there needs to be more people using Blender professionally, and I think a lot of people start using Blender because it's free. That's why I started using it. So by the time people become pros, they don't use, they get a job or whatever and they use a more traditional software like 3ds Max or Maya or Cinema 4D. But you can do awesome stuff with Blender. Like, it's almost frustrating, but like, I have a Behance page. Go follow me on Behance. And you know how, if you're familiar with Behance, it's kind of like, I'll just show you. Actually, I won't show you because sometimes there's like naked women that pop up on the Behance feed, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, you can have like these collections on Behance where people save projects that they like, and so many people have these collections called like C4D. Like they're people who probably want to get like they want to like learn Cinema 4D or get inspired by Cinema 4D, so they just see 3D work on Behance and they put it in their Cinema 4D collection. But it's like a lot of my projects end up in those Cinema 4D collections, and I just want to message them and be like, yo, Blender, baby, this is not Cinema 4D. Just because, and the point being that it doesn't, like, good work is good work. It doesn't, like, matter. Like, my work might look kind of blendery sometimes because I don't use, like, crazy stuff that you would do in Houdini or something like that. But there's also people who, like, there's a guy, Aaron McKee, he does some really popular work, like, with kind of humanoid figures, pretty Instagram-y type stuff, I would say. He does really well. He uses Blender. Yeah, it's just a tool. Do what you want with it. Let's change these stairs to the other color. Let's pop back into our rendered view, see what we're looking like. We're definitely going to need some light down there in the cavern. So let's actually let's make the lights actual. Should they be hanging lights? Ooh, maybe like lamps. I've been doing all these like hanging lamps. But DCJ, I think I'm missing your question about I am keeping the theme based on architecture. Let me know if I'm missing something there. I'll be happy to talk about it. So I've got my little lamp here. Let's bring this down. Get a little mood lighting here. Let's just go ahead and add let's just go ahead and add a couple more just so I can see in there. Look at those beautiful little spot lamps. Okay, so James is asking about the floating cube. So the floating cube started because this first A post that I did, I put the cube in there as like a reference. So when I was setting up the gradient theme that I'm going with here, which they're changing colors very slightly, when I set up the theme, I had this cube in there just when I was kind of trying to get everything set up when I was doing my first post, and I wanted the cube in there as like a lighting reference just so that I could make sure that the colors were going to look okay together. But by the time I got done with it, everything was one color, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to fly, just having everything be one color. I thought it'd be kind of lame. So the cube was just still sitting kind of in the file, and I was like, I think that looks kind of cool. So I just put it in that little room, and then it was time for the B. Had the same file. It was already animated spinning because I used the B file, or used the A file to create the B. And then, I was like, it looks pretty cool there. So I put it over top of this little pool. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe we should use that same gradient texture like in the pool. So when you're doing these daily projects, I kind of talked about this earlier, like you really have to have some kind of ground rules so that you don't spend too much time thinking about the little details in each post. But, like I have the color set, the color palette, the theme, obviously I'm doing the letter. So I like to, kind of as I was going, I started to develop kind of these other rules. And one of those rules that kind of came about was that this little gradient texture would be in there somewhere. And it's kind of foreshadowing what I think will happen as these posts go forward. So, we should end on this bright yellow color. And then on the C is the first one where I ditched the cube, but I was like, hey, we can put that texture on a car. So that's where I started getting a little more into like, okay, we can use this creatively. The D I made in a hurry, honestly. I'm still not a fan of my D post, so that just had the cube. This had the cube and a car. Got creative with the F. Took out the cube, I believe. Yeah, it's not in there. And then made it on the tree. And then I've just been kind of using it where I can. But it's just been, at this point, it's like a kind of a fun little, I don't know, I just have it in there for the heck of it. There's really not a lot of reason. Sorry. I wish it could be deeper than that. So, asking about the cube. They're just cool because they are. That's about it. So Ron likes the collections feature in the outliner. I like it. I think it definitely performs better, but I'm still kind of getting used to it, honestly. Mike is saying there's only one new feature, Eevee. SmartRoid Eevee is good for cartoonish style. Cycle more realistic. Cycles can do realistic too, but it is limited by some technical things. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's the Easter cube. Maybe I'll be finishing up DCJ. It's so deep. Maybe I'll be finishing up around Easter, which I guess Easter's in 6 days. So we're on day 15 now. 15. So that would be, yeah, so we won't be finished. But you know what, though? That's a good point. On my Easter post, I should probably, instead of doing the cube, I'll do an egg shape. Mark my words. Don't let me forget, next Sunday, Easter egg. It's going to be there. Okay, this one can also get the same color here. Color adjustable lighter. Oh, not that one. Color adjustable. It's weird, my lighter color I have set up as a darker color in the viewport. I don't know why I thought I changed that. Okay, so is there more? Am I just designing the inside here now, or am I going to do more on the outside? So I've got the little bar there. Maybe, since it's a bar, and since cups are easy to model, let's add some cups. So I'm doing a circle. Let's just do 16 vertices because it's going to be pretty small. Which this is always the example I use when describing mesh modeling versus non-mesh modeling. Are we in edit mode? Oh, freaking heck. I always do that. So we weren't in edit mode. Tab into edit mode, press 1. Okay. So this is how I always describe mesh modeling versus like NURBS modeling, which is what you do in like SolidWorks or something like that, is that in mesh modeling, a circle is not a circle, but is a set of points representing a circular shape. And yeah, like the less points you have, basically the why is this? Oh, let's snap to the medium point there. So yeah, that was just a little side note, but I'm gonna make a little let's make a okay, so we got a cup. Press F there. Let's add a solidify modifier. Add modifier. Solidify. Shazam. We're going to have to change that, I think, too. So there's a cup. Let's add let's just do this all in edit mode. Shift D. Let's add another little cup. Shoot. I am getting a phone call that I kind of need to take. Sorry guys, hold on 1 second. I'll be Hey folks, I'm back. I'm gonna write down the little calendar appointment I just made. 11 a.m. Okay, taking care of business. I think I mentioned in the live stream past. Once I'm a professional YouTuber, I won't answer phone calls on my while I'm live streaming, but sorry, not getting paid enough for YouTube yet to do that. So what I'm doing here now is creating my little my little bar set. So this is gonna sit on top of let's scale it down pretty small. Control A to apply the scale, which is gonna break my solidify modifier. There we go, shaded smooth. Okay, now let's, these viewports in Blender 2.8 are really nice, but sometimes I still have trouble seeing stuff. But honestly, it's probably like you don't know what you got till it's gone. Or, I don't know if that made sense there. But, it probably would have been worse in 2.79. So here's that. Shaded smooth. My little bar shaker. Maybe we put a little bucket with it or something too. Let's, make a little ice bucket. Shift D. Let's pop that guy over here. God. Scale, Shift Z. You guys can hear me, right? I think I unmuted. Scale, Shift Z. Scale. Oh wait, now let's just move this down. So there is some dishware. Da da da. Dishware modeling tutorial by Derek Elliott. Let me check back on the comments. Did anyone comment that my mic was off because you weren't paying attention? So, collection for lights and camera, organizing things. Yeah, collections are really good for organizing stuff. With these posts being daily, I really have not taken the time to keep them organized. I gotta tell you the truth. We might end up moving this little bar set later, depending on kind of what I do with the camera. Let's go ahead and give it a material though. And I don't think I ever put a material on my fireplace here. Let's put that to that. So yeah, collections are great for organizing things. You should definitely be using that. Watch that tiger video. Ooh yeah. Yeah, Cycles is definitely better for making things more realistic. Here's the comments I'm reading now, guys. The tiger video was a really cool example of what you can do with Eevee. But yeah, Cycles is definitely more realistic. Eevee, it's kind of like it's real fun at first, and then you're like, meh, you realize the limitations. I've been doing all these in Cycles because I use Render Street, which is a service that allows me to render stuff. So I'm rendering it on their servers, not mine, which does cost me money, but that's fine. I gotta use the money. So James, aka Minor Details Podcast, is saying, I have a future in ASMR. I have heard that before, and it's actually been specifically requested that I do a tutorial in like an ASMR tutorial, and I think I will do it. A friend of mine, Alexander Kalua, I think his name is on, I probably butchered the pronunciation, on Instagram, suggested that I do a soft bodies tutorial because that would be like a really soothing thing. So soft body ASMR tutorial, after I do the 100 other tutorials I promised to do. It's happening one of these days. Soothing voice, yes. SmartRoid join Blender. SmartRoid, you gotta reach out to me on Instagram. Share your page. Share it with other people. I'd love to see kind of how things are going along. If you're 16 and you like Blender, keep at it. You're in a great spot. So grease pencil is something Ron Hicks has been working with. I have not used the grease pencil much. I never did. 2.8 it got a lot better, but I never really did use it. And I think you kind of get to a point where you've been using Blender for 10 years, such as myself, where you kind of got your go-to tools, and honestly, I started to develop a style kind of around the tools I use. And sad to say, not a lot of new stuff is entering my workflow. Drivers is one thing I've been kind of messing with more. I'm trying to use more particle simulations, stuff like that. But yeah, Shift D, duplicate. Yeah, I use that a lot. Good shortcut. So what do we got here? We got a little bar. Oh, we got blackness. We got darkness. I think we should. No, we probably don't want to do animation yet. Let's get some more. Let's get some more furniture in this thing. And now I think I want to use the chairs provided to me by my old professor. She actually wasn't my professor ever, but she was a professor at my school, Appalachian State University, in Boone, North Carolina. And she, you know, we kind of became friends. She's a furniture designer, and she sent me some of her models. She was like, hey, you can put these in there. And so far, 2 of the posts so far have featured some of her designs. So we're going to put some more in. We're going to do, you know, I should probably use the ones that I've already used once before because the materials will already be set up. Let's, where did I put it? So I used it in the L post, I think. So let's go L. Frames L. No, not that. Shout out Appalachian State. I didn't go to the Walker College of Business, but I got their cup. And I love it. It's my favorite cup. Been carrying it around with me. What am I looking for? I'm looking for object. Here it is. The chairs. So this would be the one I copied. Let's just bring them all in. And I'm going to probably have to delete a few. So these are 2 separate chair models that I used. And now I think these were office furniture models. So she designed these. It says, she said that they were early concepts, so I guess that they're not identical. But these chairs were actually produced. And you know, she designed them. And they were produced, and she sent me some of the models. So products, seating, boom, right there. So Genesee, designed by Alyssa Coletti. That's the woman I was talking about. So these are the actual chairs. You could buy them if you want. If you do, let me know. Maybe I can get like 10 cents per sale. So those are those chairs. I think I'm only going to use the low back. Actually, I don't know. I kind of like the high back. Let's So the Eames chair sitting in there is kind of low. I'm thinking about the kind of like what it looks like inside this space. You know, the heights. Maybe we do use the high back. One of these is animated. Yeah, that one right there is spinning. Let's get rid of him. Let's actually get rid of all these. Make sure I didn't select my floor. I did not, but let's go ahead and turn off selection in case I do. Let's get rid of those. And then let's make a small little dining situation here. And I think since this space is pretty small, we're going to get rid of the array. So let's move. I guess it makes sense to have the dining room right next to the bar. Oh, you know, were there bar stools? Do they even have a bar stool? I wonder if I can look here. I don't think there's a bar stool for this. She did design a bar stool, but I don't think I have the model for it. So let's pull this down here. Smartroid, getting some inspiration. That's what we are here for. Glad to know. Glad to know. Yeah, F the haters, bro. Use Blender. I think that's a common phrase. I've heard that a lot. Just kidding. So we've got our chair here. One thing I do like in 2.8 is these handy little squares, so you can drag and lock a plane. Which I guess you kind of could have done that before, but it works really good now. Let's make this. I feel like it should be a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's make it bigger. I'm worried though it's gonna be too tight in this space, and I'm kind of in too deep to make this place bigger now. So there's one chair. Let's. Should it be a circle table? Or maybe Maybe these chairs pull up to the bar here. Maybe this isn't even a bar. Maybe it's like regular height. Let's put this at 90 degrees. And then let's rotate around the 3D cursor. Let's see, what does that look like now? Oh, that looks alright. It could be kind of a... Maybe we drop it down just a little bit lower. Or maybe we scale the chairs up. What do we do? What do we do, guys? I'm going to try to move my origin point here so I don't have to keep moving this down. So watch this. I'm going to select just these bottom vertices. Oh, didn't even get them. Oh, come on. I'm trying to shave off too small here. Select. Come on, just give me a little bit. There we go. So I've got some vertices. Cursor to selected. Right click, origin to 3D cursor. There. Now when I scale it, I don't have to mess with the floor so much. So let's put that right so the armrests just kind of slide under very slightly there. Let's apply the scale too. I don't think we're going to really mess with this model too much, but always good to apply the scale. So that is there. Move it out just a little more. So let's actually, you know what I could have done? Are these chairs too big now? No, they're not. They're fine. Let's just leave them. So let's rotate around 3D cursor, Shift C, period, 3D cursor, yes. All right, so let's put one at 10 degrees, and I'll put Alt D to create a linked duplicate. Put another one 20 degrees, Alt D, 20 degrees, Alt D, 20 degrees. There, look, that's cool. Now it looks like a command center. I almost feel like I should put some computers up here instead of cocktail tables. Should we make a little laptop? Let's make a little laptop. Cursor to selected. Shift A. Mesh. Plane. Bring it up so it's even with the bar. Make it laptop size. Period. Medium point. Scale. S. Y. Wait. Let's do S. X. Da, da, da. E. Z. Make the keyboard. We're gonna get real detailed here. Watch, let's make this thing ergonomic. Boom. Ergonomic as frick. So let's select this plane. Let's actually first snap cursor to selected. Let's take this plane, period, rotate around the cursor, Shift D, R, Y, open that bad boy up. And then we're just gonna press E. How thin should we make this screen? This is the Unreal World. And then I don't think anyone will ever see it, but let's just like, I'm just gonna, maybe this is silly. Let's just do it. I'm gonna do it inset, E, Z, just a little bit of detail there. And then maybe we do the same thing over here, 3, inset, and then E. I could probably sell this model online for hundreds of dollars. A little laptop model here. I actually have like a really high definition MacBook model, but we ain't got time for that. Medium point. All right, I gotta check back on these comments. You guys are arguing about duplicating objects, 3ds Max. Okay, not so many comments. They make fun of your stuff because your stuff is fun. That is a very positive way of looking at things. Yeah, Mike, wrong type of chair for bar, which is why we made it bigger. No one's gonna know. But yeah, some bar stools might look a little better in there, but what you gonna do? You're just gonna have to live with it. I think it looks all right. I kind of lowered the... Have you ever been to like a bar seat like that and the table is the wrong height and it's kind of frustrating? Yeah, that's what this place is, unfortunately. So we got a little laptop there. Let's make it How long have we been streaming for? Hour 44? Not too bad. Let's do this one. Oh, did I forget to change the material here? Yeah, this needs to be adjustable lighter, adjustable scratchy. Now, what would be cool is if I made a little light. Since we're in cycles, not Eevee, we can make a mesh light. So let's try to select this edge here. Deselect this. Shift D. Separate by selection. Tab out of edit mode. Select that. Shift C to go to my center. Pivot around the center. 3D cursor. E. Scale. Shift Z. I think I'm going to have some problems with this whole thing actually submerging in the ground. But we're not worried about that right now. And then maybe we do EZ. We're making like a little light here. And then let's just delete those faces. Now with the solidify, that should have made ourselves a nice little kind of lamp. Let's make the color, we can leave it that color. So now we got our little lamp pod thing. Let's shade that smooth. And now, I think I'm gonna apply the solidify because I want to go in here and make that mesh a light. So let's make it a little thicker maybe. Yeah, forget it. Tab. Let's select this. Let's select the inside there. Oh gosh, not that. Don't select this or this. Don't select. You see how I just spun right on over there? That was so nice. Don't select that. And then let's deselect. Actually, you know what? There's a way to do this that's better. So I think I can do select similar coplanar. There, got them. Perfect. That select similar menu is very, very good, by the way. Now I'm going to add a new material, assign it. Okay, that's right on there. This is going to be an emissive material, so shader emission. And that should light up our bar quite nicely. So this is what's happening is right here. So we can make that like 15. Nice little LED bar. This chair's a little dark. See, this is where I really regret my whole single color scheme thing, is it really doesn't allow for tremendous details. So SmartRoid is asking about how I'm rotating things around. So if I want to, typically you're probably used to rotating around the medium point. So RZ would just rotate around the medium point, and that's where the origin is. But since I'm basing this a lot off this kind of center area, I can press Shift C to set my 3D cursor to the center, and you can set your 3D cursor wherever you want, but I'm pressing period on my regular keyboard here and then changing the rotation. I guess it's the pivot point that I'm changing. I change it to 3D cursor, and then it will rotate around the 3D cursor. And that's what I did to spin those chairs nice and evenly. So if you're learning how to work with the 3D cursor is a little bit of an advanced concept, but really really essential to work in Blender. So check out the 3D cursor. Maybe I'll do a little video on that or something. Okay, so we got that there. I think we just need to add in some more like stuff. What do we want to add? James is saying this is what startups will look like in 5 years. Probably right. Let's I'm gonna create a lamp. I'm just gonna steal this little guy. Separate by selection. Oh shoot, not that. So Mike Myers is asking what, oh God. Let's make sure I don't have doubles here. So I'm gonna select everything with A, remove double vertices. Didn't have any. This is what I get for trying to save myself time. Yeah, forget this. I'm just going to make a new one. It's like literally a circle. So Shift A, mesh, circle. Let's make it a little bit more round. Let's do 24 vertices. Nice and smooth. Mike's asking what kind of movies I like to watch alone and with my fiance. She's really the movie one, so I gotta say I don't watch many movies alone. And the ones I watch with her, we have pretty similar taste. You know, she's a girl, so obviously she likes the girly stuff a little more than I do. But I don't know. We kind of just watch whatever stuff that gets good reviews. Sometimes stuff that gets bad reviews. But yeah, I don't watch many movies. I should watch more. And no, I don't watch Game of Thrones either. Sorry. Too busy blending all the time. So now I'm just giving this a little thickness. Could do that with the solidify modifier, but I ain't gonna. So now I was tempted to raise up a chord out of this as its own object, but I'm gonna be really conservative here with my geometry. Let's do cursor to selected. Let's fill that, and then Shift A, circle. And I'm just going to use, for the chord, I'm just going to use 5 vertices because you're not going to see this. And I don't want to use the extra geometry. Probably not a big deal, but you know, this seems pretty light to begin with, but I still like to be conscious. It's good practice. So there's my little chord. Now let's, made a little lamp there. I've made like 20 million of these little lamps for this series. Let's do auto smooth. And then let's give this its own material as well. Adjustable lighter. Where's that thing? So it's right there. And then let's actually put, how low do we want that thing hanging? We should probably get a little side table for the Eames chair. Let's put this right here in the lamp. Maybe drag this down a little bit. I'm putting the lamp in the lamp. Makes sense, doesn't it? And I think realistically this spotlight, there's this cool little tool to show the cone, but it kind of gets in your way eventually. But so those are all changing because they're linked. No, I don't want this to go through. See, look, now I gotta turn this off. I don't want it to go through, which I think depends on how big I have the lamp. Like, I think it might be going through now. Might have to make this smaller. Well, let's just delete. Let's delete these other ones so I can tell what I'm working on. Okay, so see how the light is really piercing through there? I think that's because it's too big. So I think like if this was a bulb, the bulb would be like really big. So as we move this down, yeah, so now it's not lighting above it. So let's just move it till it's right on the money, which is not right there. Let's just move it down a tad. There, so it's lighting that little area. My computer's cranking away over here. Let's turn the strength down to like 200. There, nice. And then let's Control P that to the object. So now when I move this light, the actual light will move with it. Let's put this, let's put it hanging maybe kind of right over the chair. Someone like me would bonk their head right on that, but I don't think I mentioned this is a place for short people, this little space. Okay, so it's looking very bare. Let's add a rug. I'm going to Shift C, Shift A, mesh, circle. Obviously going to be a circular rug. Let's do 64 vertices. Let's make it a nice even 3-foot radius. Maybe a little bigger. What do you think? Nah, that's good. Let's just press F, and then I'm gonna move this up a little bit till it's right there, and then we're gonna add a solidify modifier to solidify it. You know, I should have done well, we can do it with a bevel maybe. I was gonna say I should have not done so many vertices because it would be good to do that with a bevel, or sorry, with a subdivision surface. But there's my rug. You aren't even gonna see it, but let's do bevel, limit the method by angle. Make it ooh, I could do 2 segments, but that's gonna give me too much geometry. I'm just trying to break this edge so it kind of looks like a rug. Let's shade it smooth. Maybe I'll do one more just so this smooth shading doesn't screw up. And I actually have a fabric texture that I have used in a couple of the posts, but we're not going to do that. Mike is saying 2.8, Blender 2.8 has a release date. July. Hopefully 2019. Yeah, could be a year out, could be a couple months out. Hard to say. Okay, so here's my rug. Now let's get artsy with where we put the rug. Is my chair by my entrance? No, it's not. It's good. Let's put the rug right there. And then we are going to do some table design. Cursor to selected. Shift A. More circles, baby. Let's just make this one 16. Let's make it 1 foot diameter. Let's bring it up. Tab into edit mode. Press F, E, Z, E, S, E, Z. Just trying to imagine what a little table in this space might look like. And I think it's exactly that. That's what it would look like. So let's see what that looks like with the subdivision surface. Kind of smooth it out. Okay, a little bit bigger than I want. And we probably only need 1 subdivision. Let's shade it smooth. Let's make all this quite a bit smaller. Scale. And then maybe like let's pinch this in a little bit. Let's actually add 1 more edge loop right there. It's like a little mushroom table. And maybe we just go ahead and add in an extra subdivision so it's nice and round. Could put some books on there. Probably won't. Alright, what else does a living room have? Come on, guys. Living rooms. What do they have? Oh, Mike was asking about Caitlin. She's calling me now. Mute. Sorry guys. My that was Caitlin, my fiance. I told her I was streaming. We'll see if she wants to say hey. I tried to entice her with James Connors, aka I Draw on Receipts, aka Minor Details Podcast. I was like, James is watching. She knows that James and I have spent many hours on the phone together, so she knows we get along. What do you guys think about my what do you guys think about my poof here? Do you like that? Is that silly? I like it. It's, you know, to sit around the fireplace. Okay, I saw some bars around the fireplace. Yeah, I actually did intend to do that. And then James is also saying hanging lighting. So I do have one hanging light. I think it would be good to have some more. If you guys saw my end post, by the way, it was I really went all at it with the lighting. Look at that. Look at those string lights. That's pretty darn sweet, I'd say. All right, so we got a poof here. And it was mentioned that it'd be cool to have some bars around the fireplace. And I think I actually did mean to do that. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Let's Shift D, scale it in a little bit, separate by selection, tab out, tab in, and then I can do a thing called checker deselect, which will deselect every other one. Delete those vertices, EZ. And then add a modifier. We're going to do a skin modifier. Mark all these things as root. I don't know how that works, but that's what it does. And then to round it out, we're going to do a subdivision surface, which I think there's a hotkey. Control 1. There, that worked. Sometimes I actually know the hotkeys for cool stuff. Do we like that though? Maybe I'll just change the material here to color. Let's leave that lighter and let's change this to the regular color. It's really dark in there. I need to figure out a way to get some light in. We could do like a skylight. Maybe we start looking at this. Maybe we start looking at this roof a little more. I don't know if a skylight's the way to do it though. No, probably not. Okay, so we got a poof there. We probably need some cabinetry. Let's build. Did she give me? I'm thinking. You know, I have all these other assets. Let's just poke through here. Assets, models, furniture, sofas, chairs, beds, tables. Should we add another chair? Mike Myers asking the deep questions. What's it like to be in love, be loved, have a dream job that you enjoy? It's good, but anytime you think someone's life is perfect, I guarantee you it's not. But yes, I am happy with where things are at this moment. So it's nice. It is nice. There's a little bit of luck probably in there. But I also have worked to get myself to this point. And it has been a stressful challenging journey. But yeah, I'm a happy folk. Caitlin's here. I'm gonna let her in. Caitlin's here. I don't know if she'll come say hey. Okay, so we got the poof there, the light. I was looking at my models to see if I had anything good, and I don't. So let's do I've been kind of creating these really simple little cabinets So let's do one of those. SX2, and then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna inset, and then EY. Just pull that back a little ways. Okay, so that's cool. And then let's do Shift D. Let's actually delete that. Let's go ahead and move this in here, see how big it is. Tab. Scale it down a little bit. Oh wait, yeah, I wanted to have part of this be like a wall. Let's and then maybe we could put some art on the wall. That would be good. So let's make this section here where the staircase is a wall. I think that would make sense, like structurally. So I'm going to select all these. Separate by selection. Let's change the material on this one. Get rid of the glass. Color adjustable, scratchy. And then how thick is this one? 0.5. 0.5. Okay. So now we've got a wall there. I think that looks a little better. And that's probably where I can put my... Oh, let's go and put it there. I always do this last, figure out where to put the little house number. Okay, so there's a little bit of a gap there, which I think is fine. James says, my wife and I have been watching this through dinner, putting a lo-fi hip-hop channel on in the background at a lower volume is the jam. Caitlin.
What?
James is watching with his wife, or at least listening. Okay, guys, here's Caitlin.
This is a direct message to the wifey. Not James, just the wife.
Caitlin has a message for James's wife, who happens to potentially be watching, learning a lot about Blender, I'm sure.
As you know, we find ourselves doing that, learning more than we ever anticipated.
Is there more you have to say?
No, that was fun.
You want to say anything to the stream? We've got how many people? We got 11 people watching.
Smash the like button.
Oh yeah, she knows what's up. Smash that like button, like and subscribe, baby.
All right, I'm gonna go get my nails did.
She's gonna go get her nails did. Wow, really like when Caitlin makes a cameo. That's so nice. All right, love you.
Love you.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
I should be done by then. We're at 2 hours now. I didn't want this to go any longer than 3.
So you might be on for another hour?
No, I said I don't want to be longer than 3.
Oh, okay.
That would be horrible. Just trying to design this little living room here. Maybe I need a coffee table. Maybe some more chairs. Actually, what couch do I have? I think I had a couch. Direct message. Oh, James said, "What's the direct message to the wife?"
Well, I don't know if I can say that over the stream.
Oh, Caitlin says that the direct message is gonna come later in private.
It's just that you and James have such a kindred friendship.
The message is that James and I have such a kindred friendship.
It
Yeah.
is inspiring.
Yeah, it is inspiring. We gotta keep it kindling. Keep it kindred.
Keep it Kendrick Lamar.
Keep it Kendrick Lamar. Yes. Alright, so right now I'm selecting my little rim. You heading out? Okay. Have fun. I'll see you in a little while.
Kiss, kiss.
Goodbye. I never knew how much fun it would be having Caitlin make cameos. But knowing that these live streams have taken as long as they do, it only makes sense. I don't think there's any way around it. So I'm adding my little rim here now. Yeah, honestly, I scheduled this so that I wouldn't be live streaming when she came home, but she came home early. So good for her, but she shouldn't be home until 5. Okay, so I got my subdivide. Trying to make this thing smooth. So yeah. Never knew how much a part of the live stream she would get to be. How exciting. Alright, so I got my border there. That really spices things up quite a bit. Now I want to... This always gives me trouble. Select this, select this, select this. No, it doesn't. This doesn't give me trouble. Shift D. Separate by selection. Now I think I can just select that edge there. And then select that. Control L. Link modifiers. Okay, I think that worked, but we need to get rid of the glass material. Control A to make it nice and thin. Control A. And apparently this isn't leveled out right. So we're going to press 1. Select that. Bring this up a little bit. This is our door. Oh, and I did this in another post that kind of looked cool. Let's try it again here. So if I take this edge and then subdivide it a few times. Oh shoot, what did I just do? Okay, so I subdivided that. Now I can control A. Let's subdivide it again. Can't really see what I'm doing here. Subdivide it again. And then maybe I take this and this. Control A. Kind of make a little bit of a door handle thing. But I think I need to do this and this. And then now maybe there. Kind of like a little door handle. Smooth shading subdivision surface. Okay. Save. Smartroid, nice to see you, man. Bedtime. Look forward to the next live stream. I'll keep an eye out for your Instagram. Thanks for stopping by. Stay inspired. Do that Blender stuff. Alright, let's gosh, this living room is bare. I don't like this. I'm gonna get rid of it. Maybe we could put a big clock on the wall. Also, I don't think you're gonna really see a lot of this. Let's just I know this is lame, but let's add another one of these. Alt D R. No, let's just do Shift D so we can edit it. Greetings from Tucumán, Argentina. Thanks for stopping by. I've never been there, but it sounds like a nice place. Now I'm going to try to delete these faces. And then I need to kind of reconnect some things here. Let's select this F dot dot. Oh. F. Oh, come on. This and this fill. 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 Okay. So now we have two little poofs with the big poof. I don't like how they're spaced though. So let's around the cursor like that. Okay, so those are the people chilling around the fire. Period. 3D cursor. Let's see. I want to make these shorter. So we got a little command center up there with the laptop. The ceiling really could use some more hanging lights, like James said. Maybe we do. Maybe we do like kind of like a little track light system. Let's steal from this over here. Let's select similar. Select similar regions. Oh. Select similar coplanar. Shift D. Separate by selection. Select that. Me 3D cursor. Okay. So we're gonna try to make a little track light system. Shift D, R. Remove double vertices, which I know I have. Wow, I didn't have any. How'd that happen? Let's set the origin to right in the middle here. Cursor to selected, tab out, origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Let's move this up. Easy. Okay, so here will be our little light system. Let's copy this light. I'm going to do Shift D and just drag it to right there. O is a nice place to hang out. Boy, I'll say. Now, for the track lights, we're going to make them a little bit smaller. Medium point. If you guys have noticed, I do a lot of switching between what mode I'm in, or what pivot point I'm in. That really does help. I want to deselect that. Now for these lights, let's make them pretty tiny. Pull that up. These are kind of track lights. Well, they're not really, but they're hanging. I think they're going to look really good. That's the point. Let's actually add in. So let's oops. What's going on here? Okay, so that should be the interior. So snap cursor to selected, and then we're going to add a light. That's going to be a spotlight. Now let's see what this is looking like. Gosh. Okay, so there, that's the spot point. Let's move it up a little bit so it's inside there. Let's take the power down. Now we can leave it at 100. Well, this one over here is like freaking super bright. Yeah, let's turn that down a little bit. This one's bright too. Everything's super bright. Not this one. This one. Let's turn this one down to 50. That looks a little bit more reasonable. Now let's Control P that to the object. How old are you to model with Blender? I think you mean how old was when I started, maybe? I've been using Blender for I started using Blender when I was probably about 16. And I am 28 now. So about 12 years I have been using Blender. So if you guys look at me and think, wow, that guy's a pro, don't be afraid. It took me a long time to get here. It can be really discouraging when you see other people using Blender or something you want to do and they're really good at it, especially if they're younger than you. But it's never too late to start learning something. Okay, so I just made the little lights here. Not sure how I feel about them. Let's I want to make the cone here. This blend option makes it so they kind of fade out a little bit more. I think that's cool. Now another thing I did before, maybe we could turn on ambient occlusion, because it gets really dark in there. That's alright. There's some little hanging lights. We've got our little chair. So it's a lounge. I think there should be some type of a little shelf in here. So let's add another circle. And I'm going to turn off the overlay for the light here. Light. So now there should, yeah, they're still in there, but now I don't have those overlays. Messing up my view. So now I'm going to add in a circle. Let's just delete that. I want more vertices in that. Circle. 64. Scale outwards. I'm making a shelf now. So let's make the shelf on this wall, I think. So let's do it. I think it starts kind of right there. X vertices. Okay, so now this is why it's so confusing. It's because this floor is a little bit above things. Okay, so E, scale, Shift Z, E, Z. Actually, this would be kind of cool, right? Feels like tall. E, scale, Shift Z. And then we can just kind of connect this and this. Connect that and that. F. Control R. Now let's just add a solidify, add modifier, solidify. Make it thick, make it even thickness, change the offset, and then let's make it wall mounted, medium point. The track is the light. Yes, I see what you mean, James. Alright, so here's my wall mounted shelf. And then this is where you keep the tall books, of course, is up here. Now there should probably be something on the shelves, but we are not going to do that. Let's make this the lighter color. Okay, so James is saying the track is the light. So to do that, let's take this. Wait, what the heck? I knew I had double vertices in here a long time ago. We got, oh, that's why. Let's delete these faces. Actually, no, let's Alt M at center. Let's merge these. Actually, okay, no. So I made a little mistake here earlier. So let's select one of these faces and just delete it. Delete those vertices, and then we're going to delete this, just the face. And then we're going to select this edge loop and this edge loop, and then we're going to bridge edge loops. That should work. Now we shouldn't have any faces hiding inside there. So let's Shift C to snap our cursor. Snap our cursor to the selection, or to the center. Sorry, 3D cursor. I think I'm gonna make this come like kind of out, so that this is a little bit fatter. And let's select this edge, grab it down, GZ. Oops. Let's do that thing where we select coplanar again. Select F3. Select similar coplanar GZ. Wait, why didn't this one get selected? What? Why would these not get selected? Okay. So we have the right stuff selected now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to inset this, and we're going to E, Z, just go up a little. So now we have this kind of cool shape, and we can actually use the same material they used before to create the ring. That actually does light the space quite a bit better, and it looks pretty cool too. I like that. Sound effect for animation. Mike Myers. There will be sounds with this one. Actually, so Minor Details Podcast, as I mentioned a couple times, is kind of a industrial design podcast. And James Connors and Nick Baker are the primary hosts of that. And there's actually, so Nick Baker actually left a comment on one of my, maybe he added sound, or he made like an Instagram story that said, you know, what's an animation without sound, or something like that. And I was like, you know what, he's right. Like, what? Because it drives me crazy when I see an animation on Instagram and there's no sound. It's like, come on, dude, put some sound in there. So from that day forward, I put sounds in my animations. And that, because I was trying to catch up, the A and the B animation didn't have, the A and the B animation did not have sounds, and I was pretty embarrassed about that. So we don't talk about that. But the other ones have sounds. Wait, that's what I wanted. Not that. There. So now our space is nice and lit up, actually quite a bit better. And we've got our little shelf over there. Maybe we should sneak a couple little point lamps in the shelf just to kind of highlight it. Medium point. James, I think the sounds thing is well known by Nick. All right, 3D cursor. I'm just putting some lights in the shelf. The files are in the computer, so that I can be cool. Just so I can see this shelf a little bit better. Alt-T, Z. Okay, they are a little powerful. Let's turn them down. Wow, it's weird. Like sometimes the lights are really strong. And now that this stuff is all everywhere, let's kind of move some of this around a little. Okay, so here's our little interior. Some poofs, so a little bar with some chairs at it, a bookshelf with lots of good stuff. Let's do a little bit of animation. Okay, and while we're doing the animation, I'm going to try to explain the smoke simulation situation for Mike. Okay, so let's go through the process now of parenting all this stuff. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to drag this up a known amount. So let's say 15 feet. And then I'm just going to select all this stuff. Oop. I'm going to try to select all this stuff and then move it up the same amount. So yeah, the smoke simulation thing was a pain because, well, a lot of reasons. Okay, so 15. Now select the roof, Control P to object, keep transformation. Missed a couple things. Let's move this up 15. Control P to the roof. So now the roof should have everything attached to it. It does. So yeah, the smoke simulation thing was a pain because smoke simulation, if you do it really high resolution, it creates, for each frame, there's like a point cache. So basically where every little particle of smoke is, there's a file that says where it is. And those files are really, really big. So so for a 300 frame animation, I think that one ended up being 240 frames, it creates like a 10 gigabyte file, which really isn't huge, but in order to upload that file to Render Street, which is the rendering service I use, I had to zip it, and I didn't know this, but to zip a file, your hard drive needs some empty space. I think it kind of like moves the files in one place and zips it and moves it else. So that was part of the problem, is that I didn't have a lot of space on my computer. I really needed to get another hard drive. So that really kind of screwed me. So I had to do all this clearing, and then my internet speed's been slow, so I had to, so uploading it took forever, and then once I got uploaded I was having a problem, and then, you know, there's a problem with my Blender file where I had the simulation starting on a negative frame, which that created some errors where it wasn't pulling the cache, and I don't know, it was just a mess, and it was pretty frustrating, but I spent like an entire day trying to screw with it, and yeah, it was pretty frustrating. So that's kind of the story with the K in short. Okay, so we've got, let's see here, that's going to be like that. Okay, so we're going to start this thing down right there. So it starts as 0, insert single keyframe. That's the roof being that thing. So I think the animation is going to start like that. And that's probably when you'll see the O. And then it's going to pop up over the course of, let's say, 3 seconds, 90 frames, 30 frames a second. And then it'll go to 6 feet, insert single keyframe. Let's turn this off for now. So it kind of pops up. So Mike's asking how long the render process would be on your computer. So some of these animations render faster than others, and the one that took the longest to render was the K. And that the majority of the frames you see with that animation were rendered on my computer because I was having so much trouble getting it uploaded. So, they were taken between 2 and 4 minutes to render each for 240 frames. So, kind of a time-consuming process. There we go. All right. So there will be a keyframe here. Insert single keyframe. And now as long as I leave this interpolation the same, this should work. Let's actually make this linear. So when I'm talking about interpolation, so it kind of starts off slow and then it comes to a nice eased stop. But to make this look extra mechanical, I'm going to make this a linear interpolation. So now it'll kind of come to a more harsh stop. Let's actually move these keyframes. So I want it to start off not immediately. So let's have it start after 1 second and then go to 120. Which means this keyframe that I'm about to set needs to move forward to 30 as well. So yeah, the K simulation, or the K post took a long time to render. It's like, of course the post that I put all the extra crap in is the one I had to render on my computer. Because that Volkswagen bus model that I used was also like insanely high poly. And I was like, it's no big deal, I'm not going to render it on my computer. And of course I ended up having to render it on my computer. So it was a pain, but we did it. We got it done. There's some kind of little jitters in there because I had to, there was just all sorts of problems. I won't get into any more details. So now I just animated those two things. And they should, so this is what I was trying to do with drivers earlier. Kind of silly, but not silly. I love it. So we should probably go ahead and just do a little bit of camera setup here. So there's our little house that rises up. Let's watch it one more time. That'll actually allow for some cool sound effects. I've been kind of losing it with the sound effects. It's like I just keep adding nature ambiance because I don't really know what, there's not really like a lot of movement, but this one should be cool. So we got that happening. You guys have probably been waiting forever to see that. All right, we're at 2 hours and 38 minutes. I guess it just takes 3 hours to do a live stream of these things. So cool. Let's render. Save. I think that's a cool little O house. I'm good with that. I am going to put some stuff on the roof, I think, and hopefully I don't spend forever with that. Should we put the cube on the roof? Let's put the cube on the roof. Selection to cursor. Drag that up. I could put some little smoke coming out of the chimney. That'd be cool. And I'm quite tempted to, because now I think I know what the problem was with the smoke simulation, so it might be fun to try that again. But for the purposes of the live stream, I'm not going to do that. If I do it after the fact, special treat, but we'll see. So for safety, I feel like I should have a little bar there. I think I do want to put a railing around the outside here because I'm all about the railings. And we can actually keyframe that too with like a shape key, since it's just going to go straight up. Let's try that. I'm going to add a circle. Let's give it plenty of vertices. Tab, scale outwards. Oh gosh. Scale it. Okay, so it would need to be a little bit outside the thing. And then we'll have it split right here. Let's actually, so it needs to start on the ground. Let's, is this a bad idea? Let's see. So it has finished the animation by frame 120. So let's make a railing here. And then I want to rip this vertice. Rip. Ripping is another tool that honestly I haven't used much. And then let's do constant. I'm gonna do a what's it called? The thing. Proportional editing. Okay, no, that's not what I want. That's kind of cool though. I want linear. G, Z. Oh, I don't want connected though. Connected. G, Z. So since I ripped that, I won't have it. So now if I watch this in the side view, I should be able to get this pretty close. GZ. So this is about 2 feet above. Right about there, I think. Okay. Shoot, you know what? I need to do that second. I need to do that afterwards. Oh wait, no, I don't. Can I redo? I feel like redo doesn't work in Blender for some reason. No, it worked. Nice. Let's add a modifier, and let's do a skin modifier again. Skin modifiers I will have mastered by the end of this series. I use them a lot. Or I have been using them a lot. Let's add a sub D. Shade it smooth. Give it some material. Okay, so there's my railing. So the way I'm going to animate that, let's finish this off before I, so let's just select a few vertices here. Maybe this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. And then, where's 45 degrees at? I think this one? Yeah, that one. And over here, is that this one? I'm gonna make some little railing things. That one should be about right there. And then let's go ahead and select this one. Easy. And then I'm going to scale. 3D cursor. Scale. Let's turn off the proportional editing. Scale, Shift Z. So this is going to be like a stretchy railing, if you will. Oh yeah, the O is coming together. I knew the railing would do it. I'm addicted to the railing. Addicted to the rail life, bro. There's my sweet deck. Check it out. I can probably get rid of this. I don't know why I've just left that there the whole time. Alright, so we're going to do this with a shape key. So it needs to end at 120 right there. So let's insert a shape key, which will be that. And then once you have one, you can insert another. So now I want the new shape key to be, so I'm on key 1. So I want this all to be, let's see, let's do cursor to selected. Ooh, no, hold on, this is tricky. Cursor to selected. Let's select this whole ring, just where it starts to curve though. I'm going to try to scale, and I don't want these bottom chunks. I don't know why I called them chunks. Select that. Okay, now I want to SZ 0, and then these will be down here. What did I miss? Why am I... What's going on over here? Oh shoot, those have to be... Oh, I should have selected those two. Cursors you selected. So I'm just picking a random one there. Let's get rid of these. So this is, I know Smart Roy is gone. He was asking about kind of using the cursor. This is one thing it's good for, is aligning things. 0. Okay, so now that should be key 1. So now, when we change this value, it adjusts. How convenient. So then that means at 120, we want this keyframe to be 0. And then at frame 30, when it starts, we want this to be a value of 1. So I kind of did it backwards, but that's fine. And we want to change the reason. That's one of the reasons I did a linear interpolation, so that all this stuff would line up fine. I knew I was going to be animating a few things. So now, even though these are, oh, okay, so it does get a little funky, stretchy there. I think that's because I messed up the. So those values change. I think I can turn on. Let's go into edit mode. I'm going to try to check the lengths here. Edge length. So, let's see. When it's all the way full, those edges are 3.86 feet. When it's on basis 1, those are 2.21. So then I need to go into key 1 and then select those all. What was it, 2.21? Let's try to line that up. Let's see if that fixes it. It did. Pretty close. There's probably still a little bit, it's probably a little off still, but that's fine. Okay, so now there is a little problem here with the bar intersecting. We could just kind of hide that and nobody will know. But, should we just hide it? Could make it kind of like slot in. Let's animate the door. I'm going to do that too. So once it opens at frame 120, I want to have the door open. So at 120, it's still at rotation 0. Oopsies. Let's have the glass parented to the door. Control P, keep transformation. Okay, so now let's, so yeah, 120, it's a 0. Closed. Insert single keyframe. And then let's have it take 2 seconds, so that'd be 60, yeah, 180. Let's do all the way to 44 degrees. Door opens, boom. Ooh, you know what'd be cool is if all the lights turned on when it came up. How can we do that? Is that gonna be too much? So let's have, that's not too much. It's gonna be too cool to not do it. So at 120, so when the door starts to open. So let's set all, okay, so let's set all the strength. So at 180, the lights all turn on. So let's add keyframes. Wait, why can't, what is this? Insert keyframe for the strength. Now these are all, insert keyframe. I'm gonna have to, okay, they're all taking the same keyframes because they're linked. That's good, that's good. This material, shader editor, insert keyframe. I don't even have that many lights. Is that it? This is the fireplace light. There's this light. Here, let's get that one on. Yeah, Mike, a lot of there's a lot of like kind of cool videos floating around the internet that show that how like things can kind of tuck away and stuff. All right, so I think it's just those few lights. So then at 120, let's have all the lights be off. So put that to strength to 0, insert keyframe, put this strength to 0, insert keyframe, put, did I already keyframe that one? I did. That's at 0, put this to 0, insert keyframe, this material, 0, insert keyframe. Okay, so all the lights should be off in there basically. And then they slowly turn on. So we want to keep this front, we want to be looking kind of in here for the first several frames. Should I put a little hole for that stupid bar? I knew the bar was going to get in the way. Also, let me add some more, some panes here. Let's add 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. Let's just get a little bit more realistic with all these. Make a pane there. Make a pain in the pain in the pain. Pain in the booty. Alright guys, I'm fading. I gotta stand up again. Alright. Feeling good. These are oh god, my lamp is hot. These are puzzles that I made. And they're gradient puzzles. They're really hard to do. They're from AreaWare, company that makes some kind of cool stuff. Check them out. Go buy some puzzles. Now, if I can kind of line this up. So those are big glass panes. Maybe should one of them be open? Nah, it's kind of like an underground house. We wouldn't want that. Does that look alright? So those are big. These ones are kind of small. Maybe I'll just get rid of this so that it's kind of more even. X edges. Save. Do we need a track that the door slides on? Not really. But you know what we could do is probably just take this little table here. Mike's asking if I'm using right click to select. No, I'm using left click. I did used to use right click and I loved it just fine. But no, I'm using a left click select now. Because that's the Blender 2.8 way. Especially, you know, with me doing tutorials, I can't use too much in the way of custom stuff because it's anyone who's new that's trying to follow along is going to be lost. So I really kind of have to stick to the standards. And with 2.8, let me turn off my edge things here. With 2.8, with left click being standard select, I kind of had to kind of go with that. I'm just making like kind of a random little chimney flute here. Where the smoke sim will come from if I do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's get me. When I lean in, lean back. I'm doing mostly leaning in. Probably not good for my back. I need to finish this thing. All right, so we're good there. Let's set the camera up. I think maybe after I close the live stream, I'll throw a couple things on the roof, but I think we're pretty good with this for now. So let's set some camera stuff up. Let's save. Okay, so we're gonna start. How do we want to start? Should we have it go back down at the end? I don't really want to do that. I could make it like a looping animation. That would be pretty cool. Let's see where we're at with our camera now. Oh, I never parented the cube. Let's Control P to object. Is that still gonna make it rotate? Yeah, good. Alright, so here's my camera controller. So how do we do this? I think it's gonna be obvious that it's an O, but maybe I do. For one, let's change the clipping here. Maybe it ends looking low and starts looking high. So let's just clear these keyframes. Clear keyframes. So we're going to start up high. Probably back a little ways. Probably a nice long focal length, but not 120. Rotate down to look at it. Let's even go further back. Further up. There, I like that. So we'll go down, so I can insert keyframe there. We'll probably go closer, and we'll probably change the angle. Okay, so we'll start there. Because it doesn't really matter which way I'm looking. Let's see, where do I want to end up? I think I want to end up looking... Clear keyframes. Oh wait, I want to go to 180 at least, because that's when it switches over. So let's actually go to let's go to 190, or maybe even 200. Let's go to 200, actually, to keep it even. So 180 was, let's do 30 times 7 is 210, yeah. So 7 seconds will be what the first sequence is. So we'll have it end looking at probably the back side. Yeah, so that we can see the staircase kind of moving. So we'll end looking maybe right there. And we'll have it start looking maybe right... Can't even see it when it's all down there. That's the idea. So let's see. Let's make this a linearly interpolated. Okay. Now I want to catch a little more of that door opening. Well, let's go ahead and get the angles right. So we're going to have it end in further, insert keyframe, down quite a bit, insert keyframe. Actually, let's go down like ground level. Insert, replace single keyframe. Looking up, replace single keyframe. Should we change the, should we animate the focal length? I've been doing that. I don't know if I love it. Sure, let's have it end at 60. Insert keyframe. And keep the start. What am I seeing there? Am I seeing the edge? Oh, that's my clipping. I think I need to adjust that some more. Clip start. Yeah. So we'll have it end at 60. We can have it start though at 90. I always try to slide that and I end up typing it in. All right, let's take a look at that first sequence. Okay, I think I want those all to be linearly interpolated. Maybe I have the Z kind of fly down. Let's see here. Object transform, Z location. Let's make this Bezier. So I think I want the... let's get rid of the focal length for now. This starts getting tricky lining everything up. But let's see. I don't want it to really start going down. Let's maybe not have any of this change. So let's make it linear again. But let's start it all when the thing starts going up. So that was at frame 30. Which is right here. And this would need to move as well. Wherever that is. X 30. Why is that? Why does it look like that? Is it because this is funky? No, that should be fine. That's linear. See, I think I want to see that door open a little more. And I want to see the stairs more anyways. So let's bring this whole thing, I think, back this way. See, it rotates into the negative. So let's move this back to the positive some more. Something is not nice and smooth, and I don't like that. So this is always sets off a chain reaction where I try to change one thing and then I gotta change everything. So the X is looking a little high right there. So like, do we move this out? I want to keep it nice and steady. James is about to start a live stream. Guys, go check it out on Instagram. So that's going to be on iDraw and Receipts, I suppose. It may be on Minor Details Podcast. If it is, you can go to James's page, click on his first post, and he's got them tagged right there. So he'll be live streaming. Be sure to check that out. It's going to be good. I will definitely try to be there since James has been so good to me. But boy, am I getting beat. These live streams really go. Oh man, 3 hours and 4 minutes. That is just how long they are. Honestly, I think if I live streamed the M guys, it would have been a quickie. That was a good one. I really had like a really solid concept when I did the M, and it worked out well. Let's undo this. James, you can step on my toes all you want. I think the Blender community and the industrial design community are separate enough. We don't have to worry too much about that. Alright, so I'm trying to get this nice and even. See, it's kind of falling out of frame, so I always have to adjust these curves. I want to keep it nice and centered. That looks pretty good. The door opens. And maybe I actually do change this swivel a little bit. Mike. So I want to see more of that door opening, so I'm trying to... This is not so exciting, but you gotta mess with this stuff, guys. The curves. Honestly, we can probably end the live stream right around now. Start saying my goodbyes. Dude, James is hardcore. He's in it until it's over 3 hours. These are ridiculous, and I know people don't watch the whole thing on YouTube, so I'm not getting any type of crazy money for this. I'll tell you that for sure. Let's clear all these keyframes out. Alright, so the second camera is just going to be, starts right there. Let's, so what I like to do, guys, is kind of fly around and just start to try to find myself an interesting little angle. So we already kind of saw the O, the fact that it's an O, and that's usually what I do with the second angle, is like reveal the letter shape. So maybe we just do, this could be kind of cool if we just kind of like went into the space with a nice narrow focal length, like 16.2 millimeters. So let's have this shift. Let's start right there, and let's just insert keyframes. Let's make the X. Oh wait, yeah. Wait, what are these keyframes? Oh, that's, I think, the aperture size. I don't want to mess with that. So let's just start there, and then let's have it finish right. We can actually clear the Z keyframes. Oh shoot, clear single keyframes. And we're gonna just we're gonna float right on inside this little boy. Oh god, that sounds bad. We're gonna come inside this small home. Never mind, I'm done with that. So maybe we do need to insert the Z keyframes here. Insert single keyframe. Because I don't want to be right there. Insert single keyframe. So let's just go ahead and add a let's make sure this is linear, and then I'm just going to add a little tiny keyframe here to snap this back so that we don't get the HDRI in the background. So that rotates there, and then I want to snap this over here. Insert single keyframe. Okay, let's check this out. We watch it. Door slides open as the camera rotates. Looks pretty nice. We kind of go in. It's short. I don't want to make these animations longer than 10 seconds, so it's like they're literally dailies. I'm spending way too much time on these anyways. Now the only thing I might do, just the way I have that second camera set up, is slightly adjust the way this chair is oriented so you can kind of see it a little better. Something like that. Also this, is this floating? Oh my god, are all these floating? I don't want that floating. Let's bring that down a little bit. I think they're floating because I had it sitting on top of the carpet on this other one. So that one, it's not floating. Alright, let's save that. Alright, are there any other ridiculous details we want to add? I don't think so. Any other minor details we want to add? Guys, I'm going to call it here with the live stream. I think I probably will put a little bit of something on the roof there. Probably some grass and maybe a chair. You know, the stuff I've been adding. But I really appreciate those of you who have joined me I know these live streams are incredibly long. So thank you for watching. It's been fun with doing this with you. I got my O done. You'll be seeing that posted tomorrow. I'll try to wrap it up here in a minute and send it off to Render Street. I'm not sponsored by Render Street, by the way. I just I like their service. They have really good customer service too. I might actually reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to like pay for me, and I might start plugging them a little more because it's like $50 a month, but it's really worth it. But thank you guys for joining the live stream. Glad you got to see Caitlin, James. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody go check out Minor Details podcast. It's a really good design podcast. Even if you're not really into industrial design, but you use Blender, it's really good to get your head kind of turning a little bit. Thinking about the living in the big city, sweating the small stuff. Hosted by James, who's the one that's been chilling in the live stream here. I Draw on Receipts. James Connors is his name. And also by Nick Baker, who is Instagram famous. But yeah, check them out, and thank you guys for watching this. Feel free to subscribe to me on YouTube, Instagram, whatever you like. Go give my N some love, and watch out for the O tomorrow. We made it here today. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.